So we're back here with match 2 versus Jeskai and Murktide. Um, my sideboard will be in the link in description below, but I'll tell you what I sideboarded out. I sideboarded out 3 Furies, obviously here, and 1 Risen Reef. I think Risen Reef is successful to this because of removal. You just want to keep in the Mole Drifters are just good at, just if not better than the Risen Reefs. So I took out a Risen Reef. I took out the Furies. Just seemed bad. They're slow a little bit. So then I bring in 3 Rest in Pieces and an Endurance. So this is game 2 in the match. I'm down 0-1. Start it up. I'm on the play. Show my companion. Okay, this is a very good hand. I have interaction for their 1-drops for Darcy or whatever. I have a Risen Reef. I have a Teferi, which blocks their counter magic too. So I assume I keep this. I do keep. I'm guessing I'm playing the win. Nope, I play the Steam Events and shock it in. See if I get guaranteed 1-drop here. I assume it's either Agavan or Darcy. Plays Scalding Tarn, fetches, the Steam Events, plays Ragavan. I go Lightning Bolt, right? He plays Bobble, I Lightning Bolt, plays a Bobble, targets me to see what I draw, sees whatever I'm going to draw here. Bobble triggers, he draws an extra card, I Utopia Sprawl. So I get to probably get the Windswept Teeth, and then get some green source and put this Utopia Sprawl on, get green mana, because actually some of these decks play Blood Moon. I think I thought I was playing Izzet, that's why I did this, but to be honest, he probably doesn't play Blood Moon because he splashes white. So I guess it doesn't really matter, but I just did it this way. It's always a good thing about these just sprawls to get basics on your fetches when you think you're playing at the Blood Moon, anything that plays red. So I put the sprawl on, naming white, because I don't have white mana up. Goes to him. His turn 2 is just a Thought Scour, so he has no mana. Didn't draw his mana. And he so he also plays, I think in here for his white, he plays Path, which is good against Murktide. That's why they're splashing white now. I think you shouldn't be splashing white, to be honest. You should be just playing Izzet. So ended up playing Risen Reef, which I maybe should have played the Teferi just to make sure my counter magic's not up, but which was a bad play. We put down a land. We get a land off the Risen Reef trigger. He's Thought Scours. He gets a land. Plays another land, so the Teferi's safe because I don't think he's playing Disputes. He bolts the Risen Reef, so the Teferi is definitely safe. I get the Triome. Untap. Fetch again. Both an upkeep. Get a white source. Get Ephemerate. Play a blue source. Play my Teferi. Get a Fury off the draw off the Teferi. Get Kahiri, then pass the turn. He goes. Probably killing this Teferi, I'd assume. Plays Darcy. I think he plays Darcy and Ragavan here, which is this Fury is actually really good against us. He plays our Ragavan. Maybe we should have dashed there to get mana because he's mana locked. But I think he wants 3 threats. Get another Teferi. This is a Fury play. Probably should have. The one thing I made a mistake here is I probably should tap this blue, keep the Ephemerate up, because I think this dies, and I think I can have Ephemerate up here because I screwed up in tapping. Kills both creatures. I actually played a land, so I did have I was able to have Ephemerate. Uptick Teferi. Go to his turn. Plays plays a Murktide here. Yep, Murktide for 8. Fortunately, we have another Teferi to bounce it. We have another Teferi to bounce it. Plus, play the second Teferi. Bounce it. Play Cavern, name Elemental. Play the Kakiri, I believe. Nope. Yep. Retapping. Yep. Kakiri, here he comes. We're going to hit for 8. Puts him at 7. pretty much in the win column here because he heats here, which I should have ephemerated it because I think I was misclicking there. Should have won game 2. We're still fine. Attack down to 3. We're just gonna pass because we have Solitude up. Pretty much Solituding whatever. Plays Murktide again. So we'll Solitude this, which we didn't need to. Could have just played Teferi next turn and bounced it, but I just Solitude. He goes to 8. Get a Rest in Peace. Play the Rest in Peace. Exiles. You attack, and he concedes on the Rest in Peace. Actually messed up a few times there. I could have won on the turn. Well, I could have won a bunch of times because I didn't ephemerate the Fury, and we didn't need to play the Solitude. We could Teferi bounce, so he wouldn't have gained the life and been at 3 and hit him for 3 with Kahiri. So we go on to match. This is game 3. We're going on to game. This is game 2. We're going on to game 3. It's 1-1 against Jeskai Murktide. Like and subscribe to this. We'll have the next match 3 up in a brief second.